How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be working on another build part to the mud mower. So today I want to do pretty much most of the rest of the electrical that I want to do to it. I'm going to be adding rear brake lights, and I'm going to be putting in new LED pod lights. I'm also going to be wiring up this Chevy horn right here. I think it'd be cool to have a little horn. I have a bag of goodies over here. Got all kinds of connectors. Got a little switch for the horn. Got a little fuse box. Now this fuse box right here is actually pretty cool. I got it off of Amazon. I think it was like 12 bucks. And this right here, this guy, I'll get it out of here, will save me from having to run all kinds of connectors down to the battery over there. Because I mean, that would be a waste of a lot of wire, having to run wire the whole length all the way down. So to eliminate that problem, I'm going to run, basically you hook the battery into this guy. You have this positive and you have this negative. Negative's up here, positive's down at the bottom. And you basically hook the battery into that, and then you have the ability to hook everything into almost if it was like a battery. So you have the positive on this side and negative on this side, positive, negative, positive, negative. You can hook 6 different things up to this guy, which I'm not going to need that many. I'll have one for the horn, brake light, and the headlights I'm not going to end up wiring in, only because of the fact that they're going to be run on the same circuit as this light bar right here. And this is actually in the factory harness for the mower, so it's going to be a completely different circuit, so I'm not going to have to screw with that. But I'm going to try to hook it up to where the running lights come on when I turn the headlights on, which, I mean, if I do that, I may not even have to run wires here for the, the rear brake lights, basically what's going to be the running lights. Probably pull whatever the positive, the negative for the lights, pull them out, and then add another wire into that for the brake lights. But the first thing I want to do here is I want to get this little fuse box mounted in. I'm thinking probably right here. I think that would be the best spot. Find nuts and bolts, drill the holes, and then bolt them through. Kind of like how I did it right here with the starter solenoid. So get that hooked up, and then first thing I'm going to wire up is this horn right here. And I actually found the perfect mounting spot for this. Right on one of these hood bolts right here, I'm just going to bolt it right up in here. I mean, it's going to hang right there. It's going to be perfect. You guys probably can't see because it's a little dark with the lighting right now, but you'll see it when it's done. I also wanted to show you guys these pod lights I'm putting in here, so here they are. And I think they'll fit pretty good. They might. I don't know. If not, I'll have to make little modifications or something. I might have to weld little pieces of metal on here I can drill into, but I think those will look really cool. All right, so I found a couple of long bolts. So I'm just gonna end up cutting these down. That way they don't stick out like crazy. Snapped. Rip. Perfect. Nice and tight. It's definitely not going anywhere. For now, I just need to get the battery run to this, and then I need to run a jumper from the fuse box to the starter solenoid. That way it's still getting power, and I know I'm not gonna have any problems starting. So I have this 8-gauge wire, 6 feet of it, that I picked up from O'Reilly's. That should work perfect for the ground on this. I know they're not really that thick to begin with. Yeah. I think that'll be pretty damn near close. And then I got a couple connectors. I actually ended up getting these little wire holders right here. So they're 3M. I'll be able to stick them and then run the wiring all throughout the machine without having to worry about it snag anywhere. So that's also pretty cool. And then I got all the other wiring for everything else that I have to wire on this machine. So I'm actually going to break this hard shell off, and I'm going to put a heat shrink on it. I don't really like these hard shells because obviously they don't seal like a heat shrink will to the wiring, to help prevent water from getting into the connection as much as possible. There it is. Easy peasy. I made this jumper that goes from where the positive for the fuse box is. This is the positive that comes off the battery right in the back here. And then I have that jumped right into here, so that should work perfectly fine. I got the ground. So now I just need to add the other connector on here. Hook it up to the ground. Alright guys, so the next thing I'm going to do is mount the horn in here. So I don't know if you can still see it here, but I'm going to mount it right on the stud. I forgot to mention, so I gotta, this is the switch for the horn. So I gotta drill the hole, put it in here, but how I'm gonna run this is I'm gonna take this cable, plug it into here, and I'm gonna take another piece of the cable, run it right here to the positive spot, and then run the cable back around. I need the switch in there so that way obviously it's not constantly going off and I have the ability to just push the button and have the horn go off. Ah, mint. Look at that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Of course, I had to drop the screw, didn't I? I've literally dropped like 3 screws down there and I've lost them. Luckily, I have a spare line around and it looks like it doesn't fit. Why would it? Why would things want to make my life easier? So now I just gotta run the cable from the switch, positive side, and then we will have power to this horn. Perfect. So now, alright guys, so I'm gonna end the video right there for today. I'm gonna end up finishing it up tomorrow. It's just really late. I didn't realize how late it was. So tomorrow I want to finish up by adding the brake lights and getting the headlights off figured out here. And I also took this front little lens off of this thing and I welded a little piece in the corner. So I'll go over that with you guys tomorrow, but I'm gonna have to make up little spacers, which I made all of these little pieces right here. I'm gonna have to weld in here to make up for the difference because there's too big of a gap. If I put this headlight in here, see there's too big of a gap. So I have to shorten it a little bit. So I got a piece there and then I'll have another piece over there and then it'll bolt in just like that. Then I'll have it on both sides. I think it's gonna look badass. But till tomorrow, guys. Alright guys, so it's the next day here and we're gonna finish up the rest of the mud mower. So it gives you guys kind of a rough idea of how it's gonna look. Not too bad. So I just gotta get this other side done. And just like that, it's done. So I went ahead and painted this after I welded everything in, bolted the lights in. And I think they'll look pretty good. And if you guys can see here, I actually kind of oversprayed on purpose. So it's kind of got that drip look to it. I think that's pretty cool. And I went ahead, took the light bar off. And I also went ahead and mounted these lights up. Not too bad, both sides. And I got the wiring running here through a hole. So now I just need to wire those together, run the rest of the wiring. But anyways, guys, we're gonna wait till tomorrow to finish this up so I can get those little connectors. But basically it's just add a couple connectors. I'm gonna actually add connectors in between both of these lights too. So that way if I ever take it off to, you know, paint it later on, I'm not having to cut wires because I don't want to do that. So I'll do that so I can connect those together just with a little connector, and then I'll run the wires straight down to the switch. But yeah, I gotta wait till I get the rest of the connectors tomorrow, so I will catch you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so it is the next day, and I picked up the connectors that I need. So I got them for actually multiple gauge wires. So I got them for 16 to 14, which is pretty much is what all the wiring in here is, 16 to 14 gauge. So I'm gonna finish up wiring all this, and then we're gonna screw the switch here and try to get all the rear lights wired up and everything working. So once I turn this switch to the on position where the lights, everything comes on. So we got everything. So I'm gonna get to work on that and we're gonna finish this up today. So if you guys don't know how to wire these two different lights up in the series so they work both at the same time, you just simply take the two blacks, you twist them together, and you take the two reds and you twist them together. Take your connectors, put them on there. and then just crimp them together here. Now I take my positive and my negative, this brown's my positive, put the male ends on here, and then connect the positive to the positive. Wrong one. Negative to negative. There we go. Got both headlights working at the exact same time. Normally, I have heat shrinks I put on both sides to seal it up, but I think these will be fine. I ran a little clip here, one of these little clips that I was showing you guys. So these are to run the wiring, very neat. So you can take and run this wiring up here, clip it in there. Now wiring will stay nice and tucked up, so that way it's not hanging or gonna possibly touch anything. So now we got the headlights all figured out. So basically what I'm gonna do here for the 2 wires for the headlights, I'm gonna take and remove a couple of these, the browns and the blacks. I'm actually just gonna take all these and just put them on the switch. So I should be able to just push right down right here. There we go. So I don't lose track, I'm gonna place them all one by one. So I'm gonna go wire the rear lights together and then run a wire up here. But I'm gonna have to try to touch stuff around and see what gets to work when I turn the headlights on, basically. So I'll show you guys the wiring right here that I did. So I got the cables coming up right here, and I use these little wire holder things to run it nice and clean looking. I got the black one over here. I go down in here with all these other cables, and I ran them all under here very neatly. Got the cable running along here. Oh, there we go. The brown, and then I think it's any of these black ones that completes the circuit. So I need to get this red and brown connected, and this black and the other black on here connected, and then it'll work when I turn the key ignition on here. So alright guys, so this actually worked out pretty good. So I took the wire right here and I ran it underneath this like little flap here. Male part on this plug right here, it goes and it slides in between these 2 little grooves. I stuffed the wire underneath this little flap, so when that prong goes in, it'll actually hold that a lot tighter. But that actually worked pretty good. So I went ahead and got the black connected in with the black, and the red connected in with the brown. And now we have lights all the way around. If I turn the headlight on, the brake lights come on too. And yes, when I turn the switch off, they go out as well. Perfect. So I think it's time to wrap this video up, but before I do so, I do want to see how bright the lights are at nighttime, so I'm going to shut everything off here. Pitch dark. Oh yeah. I think those will work real good. The brake lights. That's badass. Yeah. Definitely be able to see me. I think the only other things I have to do to this thing is I want to make a snorkel kit for it. I want to make a straight pipe exhaust stack that's going to come up probably like right here. You know, I'll have it a good amount of height. I mean, it'll go right over this machine. So if I could just take, basically I'll be able to take this whole machine underwater if I needed to. It'll be perfectly fine. Not something I plan on doing, but I could. And I do want to touch up the paint. I think I want to do like a camo thing, you know, kind of have a camo look. I'll do it all green with the black little splotches and maybe even brown little splotches. And I think I'm gonna still keep the paint the way I have it here, where it kind of flows down, you know, like the overspray. Now this is as far as I'm gonna go with electrical until I end up putting a winch on the back eventually. I think that's where I want to put it. Is I'll put it somewhere right in here. I'll be able to mount it right up, and that way I can tow people out or whatever like that. But I mean, electrical is basically as complicated as it's gonna get right here, and it's, you know, it's got a good amount to it for a mud mower, but you know, I like to go a little above and beyond. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. All right, peace.